I'm back on now.
Okay.
Look at her. You kicked me off. She really mad as fuck. She really kicked me off.
She like, you gonna mess up my views? I told you that's how she argued. Look. If you all sexy and soft voicey,
right?
I caught her.
Right.
I caught her.
Right.
You gonna mess up my views?
Right. And wait.
Who gonna say no or
watch the
or
email
anything?
I get tomorrow. Watch the email I get tomorrow.
Oh man. Well, I would never do that, but mom would be like, did you find out what happened, what took place? Because I can help if I
Hey, Power is looking for investors. Lord have mercy. Put us on Shark Tank. Go fund me.
Hey Pam. What's the time? What time we got?
We are at 8:40.
Okay. Okay. Incoming. Okay.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Oh yeah.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Unbroken Experience with Syndy B on Power 108.9. Michael and Lydia in here. They on another level today. They done took our show.
Stop doing it.
They done took the show to another level today. Okay, but you know what? Tonight's show is supposed to be kitchen table talk, and that is how we talk at the kitchen table.
For real?
We don't keep it G-rated at the kitchen table. But you all don't even have a clue of how we talk outside of these mics.
I'm shy.
Y'all,
So Cindy, how do y'all talk? Like let's I want to jump in now.
It's a no for
No,
you.
I just no. I'm just saying like I like the girl conversation like because you always say
what I say.
oh, me and hubby best friends. You know, when
Yes.
your other co-hosts and me, we're best friends and we can talk about anything. Do you talk about what you talk about with girl talk and kitchen talk?
Oh hell
with
no. No.
Can we touch on that real quick?
Yes.
The husband best friend thing. I don't relate to that. Like,
Well, he doesn't.
I can
but
talk
they
about
sure act
anything.
like they
I can
do.
talk about anything I did. I tried to do it on the slide, but you called me out. We can talk about me and Tom can talk about anything, but I don't have a best friend. To me, I feel like I'm too grown for that. Like I have really good girlfriends. We have very meaningful relationships.
I say I have sisters.
Yes.
Yep.
It's either you're my sister or I don't mess with you like that at all.
Exactly.
Like,
There's no in between.
Yep.
There's no in
But
between.
Tom's not my best friend. You know,
I'll say
like
this.
we can talk about anything, but he's not my best friend.
I'll say this. I don't have a best friend. I've never called anyone my best friend ever. One, because I have some very close people and I just can't, if I had that thing where it's just me and her,
Right.
like this is only, I can only
that's
do
like
that with
relational.
her.
Like that would be like my girlfriend.
Well, you know, I do know of, you know, back in the day there might be, you know, and I have a friend now that has a best friend and me and her, we are very good friends and she's like my sister, but at the end of the day, there's her best friend that she's known since I think they were second grade or something like that. And they are very, very close, but they're not weird close.
Okay.
Like that, but they do talk every day.
I don't want to talk to anybody every day. I would get annoyed.
There is I'm not a phone person, first of all. So you're not talking to me. The only person I talk to every day is my husband.
Yep.
Period. On the phone. That's the only person I pick up the phone and call every single day. Now I do have one or two my roommates from college. We group text. Right. We are on a group and we pretty much group text every day.
I don't mind that.
But picking up the phone.
Yeah, I can't talk.
But I'm not a phone person. So maybe, you know, that
I used to be a phone person until I became an entrepreneur. And then I'm like, I'm good.
I've never been a phone person. Maybe because when I was growing up, I wasn't allowed to be on the phone.
I wasn't either. I wasn't allowed to be on the phone. I think I completely abused it between, I'm going to say 20 and 35. Well, not 35 because I'm 25 now, but.
Are you really? Because you was trying to say you were 25 last time.
I'm 25. I'm 25. I'll be 25 in February, actually.
You're a mess. But no, I don't have a best friend, but I have some very close girlfriends that
Yeah, I
I
do too.
consider sisters, and I love them completely.
Yeah.
But the reason why I call my husband my best friend is because no matter how close I am to my girlfriends, he's the one who sees me cry. My friends don't see me cry. They don't.
Ever?
No,
You don't get vulnerable with your friends?
not like that. No.
Okay.
And
Is there a reason why?
because there is not a I don't trust very easily.
I can understand that.
And I don't trust people like me. People can cry on my shoulder. They can cry. They can tell me they doggone broke down and about to lose everything tonight.
Mhm.
And I will hold that and no one will ever hear it.
Wow.
But sometimes because I have heard from my friends the stories of their friends, it makes me not trust them with my information.
I agree with that.
And so and they don't mean anything about it because I'm very close to them. They're just sharing.
Yeah, but that's not right. That's unethical for the relationship.
They don't mean anything by it. But if you think of it,
it's a characteristic.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? Like my thing is this. If we're friends, if you have another friend that I meet, when I see her, the only thing I should know about her is her name.
Her name and how much you love her.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, even if you refrain from telling me that's cool too.
Right.
But the only thing I should know about this person is her name.
Absolutely.
I don't need to know any of her
that's
personal.
really your girl like that.
Right.
Now, if you don't really rock with her like that, or you're not sure, then that's a different story. But if you're like, this is my sister, like other than unless I say it in her face. Like, let's say, for instance, I'm introducing you to someone that I call my sister, and I've said something about her, but then when you meet her, I bring it up. Then you know that we got a relationship on another level that you can't nobody. But if I won't share that or anything like that, then that means like that to me that just crosses a boundary
of trust too. Because if I confide in you about something, I shouldn't have to preface it by saying, "Don't share this with anyone." Like you entrusted me with whatever it is you talked about. It could be the smallest thing or the largest thing.
Yes,
I'm not going to repeat that. If one of your friends, something you share with me, one of your friends came and say, "Oh yeah, Sin told me," I'd be like, "Oh really? Oh okay."
Oof.
I don't know anything. I don't know anything because you could have told me a deeper version, or maybe told her a deeper version. So I'm terminating the conversation on spot.
I'll tell you a scenario that I had. Someone that I considered a friend at the time, and I told her like in depth a story, right? And then I introduced her and her husband to another couple, and she heard me tell a surface level story, and she's listening. She's listening to like, I'm not telling the truth, and I'm just like, well, I wasn't ready to tell them all that I told you. So then she was looking at me like, you're not telling the truth. I'm like, who thinks like that? Who thinks you should know? Like, you should feel like, oh yes, I know the real story. And I understand that she's not ready to tell it was no lies. It was just, you didn't go in depth, with it all. When it comes to friendships, I'm a very good friend. And that's something that I can say hands down. I don't shy away from it. I don't try to hide it. I'm a very good friend. That doesn't mean that I don't make mistakes, but because I'm sure that I do, whatever they are. But I'm a ride or die friend. I'm very loyal. Sometimes my friends have put me in positions that they shouldn't have put me in, knowing that I'm going to fight for them.
Right.
But either way, I'm a very good friend. And if you don't show me at least some principles in your friendship, I just don't have the patience for it. I don't have the patience for it because I don't have to do that.
Exactly. So I have a question for you.
Yes.
So I know that there is no relationship in comparison to like a husband and a wife.
Yes.
And I think that different friends it's like different levels of friendship with each of your friends.
Yes.
Like this friend I may be able to confide in, cry with, whatever. This person I know is just kind of surface level, but she means a lot to me.
Sure.
Do you think it's not really a way to word it where it's not going to sound crazy, but just don't think of it literally.
Okay.
Do you value relationships as a whole and they're just like you have like a high value for it? It's like, for example, like nobody can compare to your relationship with Ryan.
Of course.
It's on any type of level.
Right.
But you can also have a very meaningful relationship with a couple of different girlfriends.
Mhm.
Like, for example, like with women, there may be, or is there things that you can tell your friends that you couldn't tell your husband, or that you wouldn't initially tell him? Like, let me just give some hypotheticals. If a woman cheats on her husband,
Mhm.
she's not going to tell her husband. She's going to tell her girlfriend.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's a very meaningful relationship. They don't intertwine, but it's meaningful here with my girlfriend, and it's meaningful here too with my husband.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
So this is what I say. I feel like when I think about cheating, I don't think it on an in-depth level. When I think, for me, I'm talking about me. When I think of crying, for me, that's personal. That's in depth. That's vulnerability. So if you see me cry, except for you'll see me cry in a movie. That ain't the same.
I'm gonna be asleep. Okay.
You know what, Lydia?
I bring the
and I
blanket
want
and
to go to the
everything.
movie.
I know where you're supposed to go.
So anyway, so to you might see me cry because you cry, because my heart connects to you, but you won't hear me share my challenges, my struggles, and cry. Like I hardly share my challenges and struggles, and then when I do, you ain't gonna see me cry,
Right?
Because I don't know. I don't know how you can handle. There's one person I will say that's RJ. I can, and even then I don't even share tears with her like that. But she has seen me shed a tear or two, you know, in these 20 years that
you had to say that like a boy, a tear or two,
tear or two, you know. And that's only in more recent years, because before she felt like, where are you? Like, I connect, you know, I'm, you know, but where I feel like probably once, is she's where I just like, you know, it was, and it really wasn't a struggle time. It was, I'm thankful that things are going so well, and I'm just trying to fight that feeling of, well, what's coming? You know, when you've had so much happen to you over your life, where you're like, okay,
you start anticipating the negative side of it.
And see, that I can share with her. I wouldn't share that with other people, but I can share that with her, and I can shed a tear. And I remember her telling me, like, I understand. And let me tell you something. You're great this, great this. But I love, and only she could say this to me because we have a real true relationship, but I don't feel sorry for you, because we all got to pay our dues. So you keep on doing what you're doing, because you're doing this great. And you keep on doing that because you're on the right foot.
Right.
You know, yes.
Who do men share with?
Their wives.
No,
sometimes
they definitely don't.
I think you got to force it out of them. It's like they try to be Superman all the time.
You know what I feel like with men is very frustrating when they don't share the whole information. And they might share with the best friend. They might share with a brother.
I don't think they'll share with the best friend.
I don't know. I don't even know if they have best friends like that, but they might share with a brother. And then sometimes they just share it with someone that they think should be able to handle, you know, the situation, but they don't tell the whole situation. And then I feel like, oh, but you made me look like XYZ. And then just don't tell me. If you share it, I don't want to know about it. I don't want to know about it, because I feel like you wouldn't have done it to my standards.
Right.
Because I do feel like if I'm sharing something outside of, you know, me talking to my husband, if I'm sharing something with you, RJ, my roommates, my mom, my dad, I'm going to always protect my husband.
Oh, for sure.
I'm going to always protect him. And the 1 or 2 times, my husband doesn't share much, but when he does, I'll be like, well, why would you sit?
That was the question I was going to ask you. Do you share like if you have any issues or anything with your spouse, do you share it with your friends or your family?
Oh, hell no. I do not.
Yeah.
I do not, because one, I don't. Because
I understand.
I feel like if you're a ride or die friend, well, my husband hasn't done anything like that, though.
Yeah, but still, if you're a ride or die friend, what were you going to say about that?
I was going to say, if you're a ride or die friend and I tell you something bad, then you might look at him bad.
But they shouldn't, if they're a ride or die friend for you, because they should know and respect that that's your husband. And you're just venting.
They should.
So one reason why I don't is because nobody is going to love my husband like I love him. Nobody's going to forgive him as many times. Now, we haven't been through anything serious, but like the little petty stuff when he don't want to clean the bathroom and stuff, like all my little DIY projects that I asked him for like 6 months, by the way. You know, when I get frustrated and I have these emotions about him, I can retract that.
Mm-hmm.
A friend may not be able to do that as quickly.
That's what I mean.
But your girl is not going to have those feelings towards your
agree.
husband because they respect you.
So I agree. But when you're in your early 20s, they just ride or die hardcore.
For sure,
like
for sure.
if you don't rock with them, I don't
Yeah.
rock with them forever.
Yeah,
You know.
right, yeah.
But at this age, for the most part, a woman has been through enough to where they're like, okay, you're probably able to make it through, or like I get, or it's just a shoulder to cry on, or ear to hear, or whatever. But I still don't do it. I don't have that amount of trust in anyone to be able to share the intimacies with me and my husband that I know it's just a day, you know, because I have just experienced too much to where they're not emotionally equipped to handle it. Meaning that they're just all team Syndy and not going to tell me the truth.
Yeah, but that's
or they just don't know. They just don't know. So, you know, or they were that friend disguised in sheep clothing, but they're really a wolf, and they were waiting. They were waiting on a time for us to fail.
Oh yeah, that's dangerous.
Yeah.
So a question has come up, like talking about friends and who you confide in your marriages or whatever, who you talk to, who you don't talk to. The old myth of you don't go to counseling or you don't talk to doctors or who are professionals about your relationship.
Yes.
So who is it that you go to talk to when things are going on?
What's your outlet?
So for me, I've always believed in counseling. Always. So in my first marriage, we need to go to counseling because this is going all the way wrong. And he wasn't for it. He wasn't for it until I left. And then he was for it. And then by that time I was too far gone. I was too far gone, you know, by that point in time. But me personally, I went to counseling through that, you know, and so did he, you know, separately. I mean, separately. And I believe in it now. So if me and my husband were to go through something where I feel like we are just not on the same page, and I believe it. I believe in it if you're okay, you know, but if you don't got time for that or you just don't think about it, fine. But I do believe somebody hopefully has the understanding and the wisdom to recognize that you all are on two different understanding pages, and somebody say, let's go. And at minimum, the other person says, I don't want to go, but I'm going.
Right.
Yes. And as long I believe in counseling, all of that. For me, you know, because I went on my personal journey, you know, of healing with my husband, I'm all in. So that I know how to communicate with him. I know him. I understand him. I know how to speak to him in a way that he receives it and with the way that he understands. And I also know how to communicate to him in the way that he needs to understand me. But if we ever got to a point where I felt, because I can feel it inside, like I get all weird, you know, that weird vibe, and I'm like, something got to change.
Yeah.
You know, so what about you? Do you think about counseling or?
Oh, I'm open to it 100%. I know it was, you know, old saying back in the days that you don't need to, and honestly, in our community, in the African-American community, I don't need a doctor to tell me what's right. I'm like, man, listen, we come where it's a day and a time now where there's so many things going on cognitively within our community, you know, health, mental health issues, you know, people committing suicide, people holding in things, family traditions, negative family traditions that are continuing now, not speaking about things. I remember back in the days, like in the early 80s or, you know, whatever, when a family member,
1920s,
you know, if a family member was molested, you couldn't talk about it.
Right.
But you knew not to go by Uncle so-and-so. Yes. I mean, damn that today. Listen.
You ain't going.
At all. He will be loaded up with lead.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. But I don't know if it was you or me or whomever was talking about this, you know, trust your spidey senses.
Yes. Yeah, we spoke about that.
We spoke about right?
Yeah, at the kitchen table.
The kitchen table talk. We ain't gonna go into depths, you know, about it. But trust your if that tingly comes over and it's a family member, roll with it. Don't be like, oh, that's
Yeah.
uncle, that's cousin,
Mm-mm.
whatever. Just roll with it, and you need to go with them or just not go at all.
Yeah, I don't let my
Except for-
kids be unattended around anybody. I know
But
that sounds crazy.
They can, they can be at the house.
Yeah, I mean, with you,
Yes.
with you, it's different. And Tom knows Ryan, so
Right.
like it's different.
Right. But trust me, I know what you mean.
I mean, even at family house, I'm like, listen, do not leave from this circumference. If I can't see you, I'm gonna tear you up.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, you cannot be out of my sight,
Mhm.
because my mind will never be at ease, because anything can happen. A cousin can see a little cousin in the hallway and slap their butt or grab the vagina or grab the penis,
or
it
even
can
not
be
even
anything.
not even sexual, in a bully kind of way.
Yeah, that
and
too.
a bully. I remember, being young and it wasn't family member, but it was a neighborhood that neighbors that we hung out with a lot, and for some reason they were jealous of my older sister, and they locked us in the bathroom, and I was like 3.
Oh yeah,
crying. I can see it vividly to this day.
And
crying.
see, adults get so caught up sometime in adult conversation that they oversee those little things, and then you find out 10 years later that
what had
so and
happened
so took me in the bathroom while you were in there talking. You know what I mean? Yes, I don't play that at all.
Okay, so listen, we didn't get to the rumors, but we got to some good conversation. To keep your eyes on your kids, okay, especially in this time of day. You're listening to The Unbroken Experience with Syndy B on Power 108.9, and we'll be right back.
It's 9 o'clock. Oh, okay. Wait, how did it get 9 o'clock that quick? It was like 8:40.
You told me we're going to have 50 minutes to take a break. It's on recording.
He said at 8:55 we were gonna go to break. At 8:55. He said at 8:55 we're gonna go to the break.
Did you tell me? Did you tell me that?
They go to business time.
Back.
But did you tell me?
Did you?
All right, let's go, Syndy B.
Let's wrap this thing on up.
True superstar.
Isn't there another show coming in?
Now we're done. That's it. Yeah. No comment. I'm trying to start trouble, Negro. Black folks, boy, I tell you.
I don't even know.
Bam.
Look on the top over there.
A bam. Oh, snap. Somebody got to take down.
No, I can't take it down. It won't keep the wall full. I got I gotta leave it up to the next person. Yes, I got you, sis. You was the first one.
I know. Damn. Consistency.
Consistency breeds success. You ready?
I hope you ain't mess up my views.
Girl, sit down.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Unbroken Experience with Syndy B on Power 108.9, and it's a wrap, y'all. We just came back just to shut it down. Lydia T, tell them where they can find you on social media.
On Instagram, I am at True Superstar. It's spelled TRUSUPA star.
I don't like.
I know, right? And on Facebook, I am Lydia Tunstall. TUNSTALL.
And I untagged her and everything too, in case you forget that, okay? And you know where you can find me on Instagram and Facebook at the Syndy B. Spell my name right, SYNDY.
Syndy, what you got going on tonight?
Tonight. So I am going to a red carpet event, and Lydia's coming too,
Yep,
right?
I'll be there.
All right. So we are going to make an appearance there on behalf of the Unbroken Experience with Syndy B. The viewing of Angrily Ever After. If you know our girl Terry Vaughn, we know her from the Steve Harvey Show. What's it? Three Can Play That Game.
Mm-hmm.
All of the shows. You know her. She directed. I'm not sure if she wrote it, but she definitely directed this movie. It comes out this weekend, so make sure you go see Angrily Ever After with Jasmine Burke as the main actress. And if you watch Saints and Sinners like I do on, I think that's TV One, you will want to tune in, and we have to support each other. Okay, so that's where you're going to find me. I'll make sure I post some pictures, and I will remind you to go watch the movie because that's what you need to do. And you can find me on thesyndyb.com, and make sure you tune in every Thursday at 7:00 p.m. to the Unbroken Experience with Syndy B on Power 108.9. And I'll see you next week. Ciao.